Yo, what's good, Crypto Cash Flow family? We got another one for you covering Gala music. So this was actually a fan-made article. Somebody basically just was doing a comparison between what Gala music has going on and actually putting your music on Spotify. So I'm looking at this article like, it's kind of not like Gala music versus Spotify, but just which one is more beneficial for the artist and also the fan at the end of the day, right? So we're going to jump into this, read this, and break this thing down and just check out what he's got going on. I haven't actually read this myself, so we're going to all do it together. But this is your first time here at Crypto Cash Flow. Welcome to the family, y'all. On this channel, we teach you how to become your own bank, how to build wealth and power, and how to gain freedom with cryptocurrency. So if that's something that you can rock with, go ahead and drop that subscribe down there and hit the bell notification so that way you can get notified anytime we drop videos. So, Gala Music, the Web3 music solution to the ills of Spotify. Let's just start breaking this thing down. So the current state of affairs. Today we are an estimated 616 million music streaming subscribers worldwide. Annual global music streaming revenue totaled 43.3 billion USD in 2022, up over 2,000% in the 10 years from 1.9 billion USD in 2012. That's a huge jump. The 36.7% CAGR, which is the compound annual growth rate over the past decade, shows the immense growth of music streaming platforms. The most popular streaming platform is Spotify, which as of June 30th, 2023, had 551 million active users with 220 million paying subscribers. Other popular platforms include Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tencent Music, and YouTube Music. Now I'm going to stop for a moment and just say this. I do love that documentary. This is totally not relevant at all. But that documentary on Spotify that was on Netflix, I think, amazing. I thought it was cool, like that come up story and the hustle and grind. If you haven't checked that out, make sure that you go check that out as well. So the most popular, so we just read that. How is Spotify performing? Spotify is one of the most profitable music streaming platforms, having made over 13 billion USD in total revenue, holy moly, over the last 12 months. While cash flow has fallen in recent quarters due to higher costs, such as Spotify's investment in podcasts on a rolling 12-month basis, Spotify has typically made 200 million in free cash flow. But below are some key figures for Spotify for the most recent quarter ending June 30th, 2023. So let's check this out. It says here that they have $6.28 USD of revenue per active user and 9 cents of normalized free cash flow per active user here. Okay, and then they have a diagram here that pretty much like breaks all that down. So how about the artists? Of the $13 billion that Spotify generated, nearly 70% of every dollar in revenue is paid to the music industry for content streaming. That's not good. This royalty cost is included in the cost of revenue, which has historically been around 75% of revenue and is primarily royalty and distribution costs related to content streaming. These costs flow as revenue to content creators such as artists based on how much their content is streamed on Spotify. So if 70% of Spotify's revenue goes to content streaming, why are artists unhappy about receiving, low wages pretty much on their royalty payments? So while Spotify pays out billions of dollars each year for music streaming, in many cases these payouts do not go directly to the artists and songwriters. Instead, the payments go to right holders. Right holders, and honestly, this is new information for me. I don't know like crazy amounts about the music industry. I'm just super bullish on anything decentralized, anything blockchain, and anybody building in this space that's actually helping people and adding value at the end of the day and giving them more power. So that's where I'm at with everything, just so you know. Alright, so while Spotify pays out billions of dollars each year for music streaming, in many cases, the payouts don't go directly to the artists or songwriters. Instead, the payments go to the right holders. Right holders have ownership over the track and are entitled to the recording and publishing royalties of a song. There are two types of royalties that are paid to right holders. One, recording royalties. So these royalties are for master rights or for the owner or the master sound recording. The master recording is the original sound that is used for reproduction and distribution. Ownership of the master could be split between the record label, recording studio, and artists and other parties who may have contributed financially to the recording of the song. Spotify typically pays 75 to 80% of total royalties as recording royalties, which is crazy. There's so many hands, it sounds like, in this person's creative genius, right? Like, they should be getting the majority of these payments, like, is how I'm feeling just reading this. It's pissing me off just reading it. Publisher and royalties. So, publishing royalties related to publishing deals with the... Royalties related to publishing rights deal with the actual musical composition of a song. Ownership could be split between songwriters, composers, and other parties who contributed to the lyrics, chords, and melodies and rhythm of the song. That's nuts. Spotify typically, I had no idea. Spotify typically distributes 20 to 25% of royalties as recording royalties. The diagram below shows how royalty payouts from Spotify could be split between multiple parties, with the artist only receiving a percentage of the total royalty. So we see right here, we have the revenue from Spotify's premium subscribers and ad supported. 70% of the music revenue becomes royalties from music industry. Recording rights, 75% to 80% of the payouts. Publishing right holders, and mind you, we haven't even gotten to the artist yet who made the freaking song. Record label, recording studio, then we have the artists in here, distribution and other songwriters, composers, performance art organizations. Wow. While the above diagram illustrates how a royalty payment could be divided, many artists are not paid directly. Instead, many digital platforms like Spotify first pay record companies and music publishers, who then pays artists based on the contractual agreements. Artists sign customized agreements with the right holders, so payouts can vary greatly when comparing artists. For example, there could be two artists with tracks on Spotify that receive a similar number of streams and accumulate a similar amount of royalties revenue each month. So the first artist is signed to a major record label that introduces their tracks and uses professional songwriters for their lyrics. The second artist is an indie artist who writes their own lyrics and sings all their songs. Even though both artists may generate the same revenue from Spotify, at the end of the month, the actual payout could be significantly different, as the first artist likely has to split the revenue with more right holders. So why most indie artists can't win on Spotify? While many mainstream artists have complained about their share of royalties, it's much harder for independent and emerging artists to receive even livable wages on streaming royalties from Spotify. Below are some key reasons why many indie and emerging artists do not do well on Spotify. So number one, stream share royalty payments. While payments per stream are often cited in the media, Spotify does not pay royalties on per stream basis. Artists are paid based on their stream share, which is a pro rata model of payment where artists get paid for their share of total streams, not their listeners. Emerging artists are disadvantaged by Emerging artists are disadvantaged by stream shares pro rata model of payment because major artists get paid on their share of the total streams, even if users don't listen to their songs. This means that if an artist's songs receive 8% of the market total streams, the artist is entitled to 8% of the market's royalty pool for the month. The stream share model disregards the listening patterns for each user, as getting the most streams is more important than attracting unique listeners. I said losers. Listeners. So number two, and this is just getting crazy, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the problem yet, but this is a huge problem for the artists. And it just makes sense to me why Gala Music is just doing what they're doing with these artists and with the fans of these artists, right? They're bridging the gap here and giving power back to the artists and giving royalties over to them. And we're going to get to that in a moment in this article. So country-based royalty pools. Royalty payments are also affected by the location of an artist's listeners because stream share looks at the artist's share of total streams within each country. The monthly payout is based on each country's separate royalty pool, which is based on the subscription and music advertising revenues generated for that country's market. An artist who has most of their listeners in lower revenue markets will receive less royalty payments than comparable artists. Playlists. Millions of subscribers discover new music through playlists. There are 3 types of playlists on Spotify: algorithmic, Spotify editorial, and user-generated. Algorithmic playlists are generated automatically for each Spotify user based on the user's listening habits. Editorial playlists are official playlists curated by Spotify's staff that artists. To get on this playlist, artists must fill out an application to get their song considered for addition. User-generated playlists are created by community members. Algorithmic playlists have been accused of being biased to more established artists. Spotify editorial playlists are purportedly, I think that's how you say it, controlled indirectly by major record labels. User-generated playlists have been accused to play schemes or payola to get their songs added, while indie artists are seemingly disadvantaged for algorithmic and editorial playlists. They are also overmatched when engaging in playlist payola, as major record labels can pay more to get their artists added to playlists and for better placement on each playlist. So number 4, licensing deals with major record labels. Spotify has licensing deals with major record labels like Universal Music Group, Sony, and Warner Music. These deals give Spotify broad access to their entire catalog while giving the record label influence over Spotify's editorial playlist, development, and future products. Due to the record labels using their partnerships and deals to garner preferential treatment from Spotify for their artists, indie artists aren't usually able to gain traction on Spotify as fast as other artists backed by major record labels. So just to recap this is why artists can't win on Spotify. There's a lot of hands inside of this. It just gets really messy from the look of it, and just looking at this diagram, this is giving us like the best depiction of how the artist literally gets cut out of just about every single deal, it looks like, and how they're catering to some of the more popular ones, right? When I look at platforms like Spotify or Apple Music, of course, right, we want to hear our most popular artists on there, but it should also be a place to come up, right? If you're an emerging artist, you have no fans, you have like really nobody, it should be a place where you can get discovered. And it doesn't sound like they're really catering to those people. So let's come over here and talk about how Gala Music works in reference to this. So how does Gala Music work? Gala Music is a Web3 music platform that uses blockchain technology to decentralize music streaming and empower artists and fans to engage in new music experiences. Instead of centralized systems controlled by major record labels that makes it hard for indie artists to succeed, Gala Music is creating a platform that gives emerging artists a better chance to flourish. Through more revenue opportunities and experiences with their fans. Gala Music also allows fans to earn rewards alongside their favorite artists when they buy an NFT version of the artist's song. Lastly, Gala Music created a decentralized network of 25,000 nodes, which allows songs to be streamed without the need for Gala Music's internal servers. Okay, so I love this right here. So first of all, to break this down, just like they said, you can earn cryptocurrency rewards off of these tracks. Now right now at the time of this video, it's not enabled. We're getting a currency called beams, or a reward called beams, that later on will be converted over to the official music token. So that right there alone I love, because even as a consumer on apps like Apple Music or Spotify, I'm getting enjoyment out of listening it, obviously, right? I want to listen to my favorite artist, but to be rewarded also for listening to that and helping push their music out there, it's just a win-win situation for all of us. So key features of Gala Music. Number 1, so songs sold as NFTs. Instead of only receiving, pennies on the dollar from mainstream digital streaming platforms, artists can sell their tracks directly to fans as NFTs. Each NFT track represents an ownership percentage of future token rewards based on streams the song gets on Gala Music external and platforms like, so let me read this again. Each NFT track represents an ownership percentage of future token rewards based on streams the song gets on Gala Music and external platforms like Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. The amount of NFT tracks and the price per NFT depends on their tier of each artist. Artists can move up the tiers based on track performance, artist popularity, and other factors. Artists in higher tiers make more upfront revenue for their tracks through NFT track sales. So you can see that these are the different tiers. The way that this works is basically, they see if the artist is doing well, and if they're performing well, then you can move up the tiers. And as you move up these tiers, you get to sell your songs in bigger quantities. So you start here at bronze level, and then you can ascend through silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. And you can see when you get to the diamond, you can sell a whole lot of NFTs. And I love this right here because all of this money literally goes to the artist. And we'll probably talk about that in a moment as well. I think that covers it in the article. So how does Gala Music compare to Spotify in terms of revenue potential? We can see here recording and publishing royalties on Spotify in 2022 was 1,000 plus. Number of artists on Spotify, 232,500. We can see that the gross revenue from these sales, you can just pretty much do the math on these, right? So you can just take these prices and multiply it by the amount of tracks that they would be selling. And you can see it's quite a difference. There's a very big difference here. They're making way more money over here on Gala Music. Gala Music clearly provides the best revenue potential for most artists. A bronze tier artist doing 2 successful tracks on Gala Music will gross revenue that would place them at the top 1 percentile of artists receiving royalties from Spotify, which is insane. Gala Music is giving emerging artists a chance to make a livable wage from content streaming, which is non-existent for most artists on Spotify. Note, while the bronze tier sets a minimum price per NFT of $100, the number of tracks to 100, higher tiers give artists flexibility in what quantity and price they offer their NFT tracks. For example, silver tier artists can sell up to a maximum of quantity of 300 NFT tracks for their song. Prices for NFT tracks from silver tier artists have ranged between 100 to 200 of recent months. Now, 10% of the tracks of music NFT minted are not sold and kept back by Gala Music for perks, rewards, and giveaways. Gala Music also splits the revenue with the artist for each NFT sale, keeping a percentage of the total sale. However, the percentage of each sale that Gala keeps decreases as artists attain higher tiers, giving the artist more revenue from NFT sales as they grow in popularity. So you can see that they're putting the artist here first. So royalties in perpetuity for artists. Similar to Spotify, Gala Music offers royalties in perpetuity for songs that are on the platform. However, the rewards will be paid in crypto tokens that will live on Gala's proprietary blockchain, Gala Chain. The tokens can be bridged to Ethereum as an ERC20 token, which will enable monetization of the tokens through trading on the decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. While rewards will differ from artist to artist, Gala's music benefit over Spotify and other Web2 music platforms is that its royalty payments in tokens occur daily, not monthly. The daily token rewards return potential cash flow back faster to the artist than Spotify's monthly royalty payment schedule. Now, this right here I absolutely love because the fact that it's a cryptocurrency means that not only are you paid out in that value that it's worth right now, but if it goes up in value later on, also what you got is even going to increase that much more. Let's say that you received $100, right, and the coin goes up in value some more. I mean, that $100 is going to be multiplied, right? So I love that. Marketplace royalties in perpetuity for artists. Gala Music is maximizing the use of blockchain by allowing any music NFT to bridge the track to Ethereum and sell the NFT on NFT marketplaces like OpenSea. So we don't just buy albums or subscribe to Apple Music or Spotify where music we can't do anything with. We can take these tracks if we want to and sell them in places on OpenSea and get rewarded off of that. So every time an NFT is sold on the marketplace like OpenSea, artists receive 10% of each sale, creating an additional source of income. So not only are they receiving money from the sale itself, but they're also receiving the royalties from those NFTs being sold. So note that songs don't directly stream from player nodes. Player nodes are IPFS storage hosts. The nodes send the songs to the IPFS network, where IPFS nodes stream it to fans playing the song. And I think we're almost cutting through this article here, so we're going to end it in just a moment. But if you don't have a Gala Music account just yet, go up to the description and sign up, cryptocashflow.com/Gala Music. NFT holder royalties. Instead of paying subscription fees, fans can support their favorite artists and participate in the success of songs by buying the artist's music NFTs. NFT holders who host their song to a player node will receive a percentage of token rewards for the song each day. The more popular the song, the more token rewards. The less NFT track supply of each song. The more token rewards as total rewards are split between less NFTs. This gamification of the Gala Music NFTs incentivizes participants to buy tracks of emerging artists that are bronze because they will receive more rewards over the long run if the song does well, because the token rewards will be split among fewer NFT holders. Another thing that I love about this also is that we don't know who's going to be famous and who's not going to be famous, right? You could literally be holding on a track from an artist that's later on going to go on to be, you know, multi-platinum or just like massive in the space. And that is huge. Player nodes. The 25,000 music player nodes power the economy of Gala Music. If it enables a token reward system, node owners can host individual NFT tracks, which is required for them to be played on the Gala Music platform. Node owners get a portion of the daily token rewards along with the artists and NFT owners based on the song stream. Node owners can either buy and host their own tracks or host tracks from the community. Note, the ability for creators to collect fees each time their NFT is sold may be changing soon. So number 6, All Access Fan Store. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. The All Access Fan Store allows artists to connect directly with their fans through unique experiences, merchandise, and exclusive offers. Gala Music users can buy these experiences with the platform token and hold the platform's token against their favorite artists to accumulate points, which can provide a discount on purchase in the store. The only way to accumulate points is the hold mechanism. Conclusion: why should artists and fans be looking at Gala Music instead of Spotify? Gala Music continues to grow rapidly. The music platform has been live since March 2023 and today boasts a growing catalog of 300 songs from over 80 artists across multiple genres. Many artists have joined Gala Music, such as Snoop Dogg, B-Ray, Jordan Sparks, Please and Thank You, and Kado. Also Earl Sweatshirt too. We have a video about that on our channel too if you want to go check that out. The All Access Store offers multiple experiences that include VIP tickets to concert meetups and dinners with unique artists, unique merchandise, autographs, and concert tickets. Gala Music Platform is offering a new experience that provides more enjoyment, rewards, and utility to both artists and fans. Let's finalize on some key differences between Gala Music and Spotify. So we're going to close it out here in just a moment, y'all, but let's look at these key differences. So between Gala Music and Spotify, artists receive upfront revenue from NFT track sales. Spotify doesn't do that. Gala Music does. Artists streaming royalties when a track is streamed on music platforms. Okay, both of them do that. Artists creator royalties at 10% sale price. 10% of sale price each time a NFT is sold on an NFT marketplace like OpenSea. Gala Music does that. Spotify doesn't. Fans who own NFT tracks streaming royalties when that song is streamed on the music platform. Fans who own an NFT track receive streaming royalties when that song is streamed on their music platform. So Spotify doesn't do that. Gala Music does reward fans, and I love that. 25,000 music player nodes receiving streaming royalties when an NFT track is hosted to their node to stream on music platforms. Gala Music does that. Spotify doesn't. Artists and fans can connect directly through unique experiences, merchandise, and exclusive offers. Now, Gala Music does that. I don't know too much about Spotify or if they even do that. I'm going to go over here just real quick just so you can see. I'm not going to go through this whole platform because we're going to actually do a video on a platform review and update it because they've done a lot on this website. But I'm just going to drop over to experiences, and you can see just right here, if we were to view all these experiences, they're showing all these experiences that you can get with these artists. Autographs, live concerts, exclusive smokeout sessions, right? If you're into that, music videos, physical merchandise, things that are literally handcrafted by these artists and giving you that experience. But I mean, giving you that hands-on experience, as I guess you can say. It's more of an intimate relationship versus just listening, on your phone, on Spotify or on YouTube. But you can't really connect with these people, right? So that's pretty much that, y'all. That was Gala Music versus Spotify. Why Gala Music is just a leader and better choice in these centralized music platforms. You know, just to sum it up, they're giving more power to the artists, giving more power to the fans, and overall just creating a better experience on both sides. So with that said, I hope you all got value out of that. If you did, drop something down in the comments. What do you think about this? What do you think the future looks like for Gala Music? And make sure to hit that subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.